Be proud, Lucy, of your legacy. Very proud. Be aware as you sit here among your grateful friends, the sun never sets on Lucille Ball. All over this worried world tonight, nations of untold millions are watching reruns they also watched the first time around. In Iran and Iraq, on this very night, the fighting stops long enough for frightened people to laugh again as you hide the frozen meat in the furnace. In Finland, after a long, hard day at the factory, husbands and fathers are now just settling down to watch the American girl they love the most get half bombed in her first TV commercial. And in Lebanon, ravished Lebanon, worried parents of many faiths share a common experience with innocent war-torn children who tune in to forget the debris long enough to feed their hungry souls with laughter as you parade down the Champs-Élysées in an outfit that drove the Paris designers to double aperitifs. Across the world, in Singapore, Japan, whole families gather for a Lucy break as laughter erases their problems watching you rehearse your trip to the hospital for television's first spurt. And in Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Honduras, Guatemala, Peru, San Salvador, Venezuela, and other sunshine countries, laughter crosses friendly and unfriendly borders as you try to keep up with the chocolates on the assembly line. Yes, my dear friend Lucy, you are the one that they love most. Joy requires no translation. God wanted the world to laugh, and he invented you, Lucy.
I always felt that they needed, the public, needed a show that had a beginning, a middle, and a happy ending.
Yeah.
And something they could depend on, and I think it's become more important to them now, and that's why they're tuning in so regularly, day and night, because they can depend on it. They see things that are, they're trying to make entertainment out of newsreels, what we see in the news, which is not very happy these days. And they're building shows around them. And to me, that's not entertainment.
Yeah.
You have said that Lucille Ball, I don't think funny. I'm not funny. He's funny, but I'm not funny.
I don't think funny. I can do funny things that other people write down in detail, tell me how to do them. But I really don't think funny.
There was a lot of guilt involved in not being home with the kids because, you know, you're supposed to be, I guess. And she played a very funny person in her show. Very crazy, outrageous person. And all my friends used to think that my mother was really like that. But at home, of course, she wasn't like that at all. My mother was, as I said, very, very serious, really. Sometimes to a fault serious. And she had a rough life growing up. She went through a lot of pain as a kid. There was a lot of death in her family when she was young. Her father died when she was 4. Her grandmother and her aunt, who lived in the same house with her, both died while she was there. Her mother had to go off and work. You know, there was a lot going on. And she turned to this play acting, this as a relief, I would guess. She wanted to make other people laugh. And it was her opportunity to be a kid, because I don't think she ever got a chance to really be a child.
You see, after 25 years of doing a weekly series, you start in 1974. Then what was it like? You got up in the morning and you didn't have to run to work.
Traumatic. Very. Well, for the first 3 or 4 months, I was in limbo. I was just in shock. I loved getting up and going to work.
Were you depressed?
I was depressed. I was in such a depression that the doctor said, you've got to take her away. You've got to find something that she wants to do. And there wasn't anything I wanted to do but go back to work.
And you've had to understand it in your life probably much more than most people, the difference between reality and film, because you had to live for many years, still do, with another image, with an image of a marriage.
I used it when I was unhappy.
What do you mean?
Well, it was always happy in our stories. was always happy pretending.
And so you'd pretend.
I had to pretend, but it helped.
That I never felt like I went to the funeral of my mother, or the, you know what I mean? Like that my mother died and people came and took care of us. It's like we really had to take care of the world, and we did. Because they just couldn't, and that's odd too, because the show is still there. Nothing changed that's gonna change the thing they love the most. The thing they love the most ain't going off the air. You know, it's there, tomorrow morning it's still gonna be there. It's like, you know, my mother's not gonna be here tomorrow morning. And complete strangers would come up in the street and just prostrate themselves with tears in front of me, because my mother, and I said, I didn't realize you knew her. She said, I didn't, but I can't even imagine. I'm going, she hasn't made an episode of I Love Lucy in 50 years. What are you talking about? But it's like odd, right? It's like she's gone now and it's never going to be the same. It was bizarre.